Hi guys, so I'm doing a quick video. Well, it's not quick, so I'm just gonna say that now. It's gonna be pretty long, but it's gonna be really kind of if you want to know how to do this. So basically, I'm gonna load up this document right here. So this document is basically the commands you need. Basically, the first one is Seuss. I'm gonna go through actually this in like the whole video, but basically it's gonna be in the description too. So you can just copy and paste them if you want, or you can type it out. I'm gonna be copying them because I already typed this up once. But basically, the first thing you need to like do is install the virtual machine. But if you're using a bare metal, then basically install Ubuntu on a spare computer, or you can install on a virtual machine if you're using a virtual machine like I am. I'm using a virtual machine, and I'm just doing I already have this set up, so I'm just doing it for a video because I've actually have it set up. But basically, the first thing you need to do is install the virtual machine or the operating system onto the computer. So that's the first thing. Next thing you have to set up. It sets it up. If you're using virtual machines, then you have to install the tools. So if you're using VMware Workstation, you have to use VM tools. And if you're using what's that thing called Oracle VirtualBox, then there's you have to install those. Same with Microsoft. If you're using Unraid tools, and if you're installing it on Proxmox, you have to use Proxmox tools. But I'm using VMware Workstation, and also if you're basically just using a Windows, I mean if you're just using bare metal, then you need to make sure you only have one drive plugged in, just to make sure you don't for format that, and then plug in the drives after that and format them to the specific format you want to use if you're using this as an NAS and or other stuff. So the first thing is, after you get the operating system installed, you do sudo apt update, and type in your sudo password that you created after installing the operating system, and then sudo apt upgrade, and then after that, I would install this next. Make sure the system has minimum 2 gigs RAM. I mean 2 core processor, and um and 2 gig and 4 gigs of RAM. Just for start, you could remove the actual RAM after to have it use less power, but that doesn't really matter. If you're using energy efficient stuff, and I'm just using a virtual machine, so I wanted to have my resources available for other stuff. So if you're using a virtual machine and you're running multiple virtual machines, then remove the extra RAM. If you're using this as a host, and if you're using this as bare metal, then don't remove the extra RAM. Just keep that in there, and just basically put the amount of RAM you want in there, and then put in a storage amount and a CPU. But if you're using a virtual machine, remove the extra cores and remove the extra RAM, because this can run on 1 core and 1 gig of RAM perfectly fine. And so, and there's one thing you actually can do if you're using VMware, is if you are using it as a download server for like for dark client, you want to have an extra hard drive in there. You have to add that as a you have to add that as a physical disk. Can't talk. And so what I do after that, after doing the app update and upgrade, I install qbittorrent. I install it from the actual the Ubuntu store, because it's a lot easier than just running it from their website, and it also gets updated just as fast. And um you can have this start up at the you can have this start up at the start using auto start and Ubuntu, and have it start minimized, and have it um started um have it started minimized, and have it start the um and have it lower and minimize. There's also one other command, but I actually forgot the command. I'll be right back. Gotta add it real quick. So basically, um, after you set up qbittorrent, so basically, and you have it auto start. I'll show you. I'll do that too. Um, and then, you basically do sudo apt install space docker. So there's that. Then you press enter. You press Y. Then you press enter again. Clear. Now you test. Now you see what Docker version you have, which is Docker space dash dash um versions, and then after that you type in sudo systemctl status docker. If it is enabled, if it shows enabled, then you can skip the next step, which is basically if it's not enabled, you basically press the sudo systemctl enable dash dash now dot space docker, and then you press sudo cctl status docker, and then you can press Q to like quit out of it. So if it's already active, you can just press the Q after pressing status docker, and then clear. And after that, sudo docker run hello world, just test to make sure docker actually works. And then after that, um, we get into running this, which is Dashy. Dashy is a dashboard, and this if you're setting up dashboard for actually monitoring or for like quick access for stuff on your network like Plex, and also qbittorrent, just so because after you enable the actual web domain. So what I comment out is basically the dash v's my dash config yml. I just let the docker created, and then I edited it that way, and it works. So because it worked for actually me when I did it. Then you go dash dash name my dashboard, um, and then you type in dash dash start always, and you just copy all these commands from actual there. And then this is we'll get the later repository. You just have to make sure to run this. I forgot. So with this, because if you just tried to run that, it wouldn't work. If you try to run this, you have to type in sudo. I missed that. So you type in sudo docker run dash d, because it won't run, because I actually remember it here. So then this one is sudo docker run dash d always, and then the port number. Also, this one's the port number too, which is for this one to be specific, it's 8080, and this one is 3001. You actually can change these if like you want, but um this is just already made Docker. So if you had to change that, if something is conflicting with there, you can install Protainer instead. I will not do that unless you really have to. So after that, this one, you may want to do be actually 4. You may want to do be actually 4. You install be before you install dashy. Honestly, doesn't really matter. But basically, then you type in sudo apt install Apache 2. Once you install Apache 2, you press Y. In order to edit the file, you actually can give the folder the file root access. But what I do, this is mainly just for I wouldn't expose this to the outside world, especially when you would give the chmod R777, which gives it full actually permission. You just give it to var www so it'll be easier for actually just a test place. So when you get ready to upload to something to like your website that is self-hosted somewhere, that's hosted somewhere else, you basically just put the files here just to test to make sure they look good on any browser on your network, and then you give it a you make sure you have the IP address. And what I do before I basically do any of that, I basically make sure I have a static IP address on the computer. So I type in IP-A. I didn't write that one down, but basically IP-A. The IPA is allows you to find um the IP address in terminal, but if you're using the because if you're not doing if you're using a if you're using CLI and not and plus doing do qubit torn through CLI, then you could basically would need IPA. But if you are using um if you're using uh the GUI, then you can just find the IP address through actually the GUI. And there's other stuff that I'll show you that I'll do. Yeah, and I'm just gonna um go through actually that now. So let me just pause real quick. Okay, so basically I'm gonna show you now. Okay. Um let me load up this. So this is the remote computer. Okay. So let me just drag that there, drag this here. Okay. So as you can see, this is the computer. So this is the Docker one I had made. So I showed it in a previous video. So let's just go to um my computer. I think it is. Actually, no, not my computer. So file, new virtual machine. So we go new virtual machine, and then we go to this bottom here, and then we'll want to select Linux, and then go down to either 64 or 32. Just gonna pick Ubuntu. Press next. I'm just gonna name this one as um show because of it's not gonna be here for long. So I have this on an SSD, so if it gets done super fast, then yeah. So I'm gonna give this 80 gigabytes of storage. It recommends one it recommends 20, but whatever you do, like you actually can add more. So press next. So customize this here. I'm gonna change right here NAT to bridge. So it gets there. I'm gonna keep processor at 2 for this one, but yours you put it however you want. If it's gonna be your only virtual machine, or if it's your host. If it's bare metal, then put as much RAM in there as you want. If it's gonna be acting as other stuff too, but since this is just a virtual machine, or if you're running as a virtual machine, use a little bit of resources as possible, unless you have resources to spare, or if you want it to basically be really huge. So I have 2 cores, 4 threads. I mean two cores, 4 gigs of RAM. So I just give that one one processor, and then 2 cores per processor. So it uses actual cores instead of 1 core and 1 thread. So after that, um, um, if you're using a virtual machine, and plus you have a physical drive, you go add, and then you go to um hard drive when you have the operating system installed. You go add hard drive, and then you add a physical drive. Once you add a physical drive, then you just make sure it's the right one. If you're using a virtual machine, If you're using a bare metal, then you just add the drive in for format properly. So for this virtual machine, I'm just gonna attach the the um the ISO, which is here, and then we're gonna go to, I think it's the for data storage ISO, and then 222.4. There's higher versions, but I'm just using this one. And add 22.4, 0.4, press close, press finish. So you see where it says show. Now there it is. Now we just go to settings, and from here you actually can add like another hard drive. I recommend doing that if you're using a virtual machine afterwards, after getting it installed, and then having it boot with there, and add your physical storage if you want to use it as the as a basically a download machine for Tron clients. So I gave it 80 gigs just because I decided to add more stuff. I could have probably went for actually 120 for how much I installed, but stores I have a lot of storage space, so you basically make sure everything's right here. So um after that you press play on here. But if you are on a bare metal, you just press next. I mean, you just basically select your main hard drive. So there's that. So Ubuntu is loading. So this isn't gonna be actually the fastest right now because I'm actually running another virtual machine at the moment, which is um which is time machine my time machine backup. But I'm probably just gonna power this down. Yeah, it's not slow, but it's also um just running off a single SSD. It just kind of hard. So basically, so now you go to install, or you can try it out. But since this is a virtual machine, you just install it. Press next. So I use minimal install because I don't care about the games for media player. And then you can use this to install third party graphics or Wi-Fi hardware or media formats. I'll just leave that alone. Um, and I press next. This is just for setting up a virtual machine, but for for bare metal would be slightly different. Like you should probably unplug all of your actual hard drives you actually have in there because you could accidentally select the wrong ones. For example, right now this will where it could erase your data. So just make sure. Continue. Uh, just gonna say New York for now. I don't care. So in here, so this is what you want to name this. I'm gonna name this show, but you should remember this. I'm just gonna name it show. Then I'm putting the password. It's 1 2 3 4. But why wouldn't that make a password stronger that you can remember and type easier? This is just one I'm doing a test fresh now. So then set it to log in automatically and then have it copy its files. And this will take a little bit of time. So I'm going to pause it for now. So it took about 5 minutes to install that. So I mean to download that. My bad, because my internet's pretty darn slow. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to download to like install it. So as you can see, it's at 159. And this is installing on an SSD, which isn't the fastest. It's just a site SSD. If this was an NVMe, it would probably be a little bit faster. Probably by about a lot, but since it's installing on an SSD, it's pretty fast for an SSD, but this is just a state SSD, so it's not that fast. Yeah, configuring hardware, and so update grub. So yeah, this is technically in real time. It was just uh about 6 minutes in total. I just paused because of I just didn't know what to do. So after that, and if you want to install VMware Player, you actually can, and basically run the because VMware Player is free, but you can also run the VMware workstation, but you have to pay for a license, and sometimes some things won't actually work properly unless you're running the latest version because of it won't be able to find media if you're running an older version with like a newer version. But this is almost done. Just letting you see in real time. So copy installation logs. So there's that. There's that is now. You press restart. Then you exit out of the page. The actual the virtual machine viewer. Then go to settings. Now you just go to here. And this is what I do. I just turned this off until I shut down the machine. And then I set physical device to auto detect and just leave it like that. So press OK. So go back to here, press enter. Virtual machine will restart. And this is one restart that it does. That I do it first. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna. Then you can create an actual a user account for Ubuntu if you want. I just basically skip most of the stuff. I did a live patch later. Press next. Done. And then we're here. And now where it says VMware tools, finish installing. it's doing its thing. So to have Docker and also just kind of a dashboard set up with a web server for actually testing set up. I would not let the web server go outside the network because of what I'm gonna do. So, but there's other ways to like do it. This is just fresh. This is just for a testing server, so um I don't really um I don't really need to do actually that. So uh so now we just type in a password after installing. Since the password for me is 1234, we install it. But your password should be super secure. So you know, you let this install. So this is downloading Linux firmware and it's doing updates. And it's almost there. So we're at the 4 minute, the 11 minute mark because of this is just a little i3, so not expecting much. It gets probably good. The CPU's probably getting upgrade to like an i9 or i7 probably. But I have to find a proper cooler I want. And so basically once this gets over there, it'll ask you to restart. And then I'll show you the other thing to actually do. The update snapped. And update snapped. Now, start now. And your computer would start up faster or slower depending on the specs. And if you have an NVMe, it should start up super fast than actually this. This is basically just booting off a cheap not cheap SSD. It's a quality SSD, but it is SATA SSD. So after that, right click. I just go to display settings because I don't open this. So after this, you go to where it says power. I set this to on-screen blank. Never, since this is a virtual machine. But if you're installing this onto bare metal and you have a monitor plugged in, but if you have to set this, I would turn this off anyway. If you have a monitor plugged in, just so let the screen blank and you can basically type in the password, but all your services will still be available. So after that, so you can type in the password. You actually can type in IPA to get the network password, but you go here, and then you go to here, and then you type in manual, then recall correctly 66. So you type in the IP address it gives you. So this one is 192.168.1.166. So there's that one. Now type in the net mask. For me is 255.255.2. Oopsies. Dot 255.0 since it's in the 192 range. Then for the gateway, It would be 192.168.1.254. That's for my gateway. And then you press apply. And you should have a static IP address. As long as you're using the one that it used. So press exit. Now you go here to the Ubuntu store. Let it install. I'm just doing this here instead of installing it through a layer. So for me, the torrent client I use is qbittorrent since it has a web UI and it's actually pretty lightweight. So qbittorrent, I use the first one, and now press install. Type in your password. Mine is secure. Now let it install. Okay, so exit that, and now go to here and go to here. Press I agree. Go to here. This is just for this one because I can't basically get it to like download without setting this like infinite. For some reason, I think it's just a bandwidth issue on my side. But basically, if you have issues downloading with it, so set this down infinite and it should work. Then if you have a hard drive installed that you installed afterwards, you would basically set your hard drive for qbittorrent to here, and then you add it to your download wherever your download folder is, and you then share that drive over the network so you can have access to Plex and stuff like that. You add Plex too. So then after that, you go here, you go to start qbittorrent torrent minimize, and then you minimize to notification area, close BitTorrent to notification area, and then you turn on the web UI. And then since something I'm going to use already uses 80.80, I put this to any random IP, since if you can remember it. So then you press apply, and then you change password. I'm changing this. I usually change this to my preference. I'm just going to leave this as admin and type in 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to leave it as admin. I'm going to type it as SHOW, show, and then password. So can't be 6. It can't be 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Same password, but with 2 extras. So now you press apply, make sure everything is fine. So now when we exit this, we go to Firefox or the web browser you use. So you type in local host colon 4444, and it brings it up. So when you type in the password, which is which in this case show, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then log in. You can save it, but this is what the web UI looks like. So you have that. That works. So now getting to the other thing you have to like do. You go after adding the hard drive, of course, you do that. Now you go to the software start up applications, because this is why you need a the GUI, unless you do this with actually CCLI So basically, go to command, and then you go to locations, computer, then go to bin, and now go down all the way to Q. So qbittorrent. So there's that qbittorrent. So press add. So just to make sure it does start, you close it. You basically close that. Then you go to power off / log off, restart. Just make sure it boots. So, and this you wouldn't have to do actually this if you test it all at the end, but I make sure everything works before I actually before I finish it up. I try each thing before going to the next step. So after that, you see it starts. Okay. So now you go to I actually did it wrong compared to my own steps too, but basically go copy. So you actually can type these in by hand if you want. I'm just gonna copy them because it'll be easier for actually me. But you type in terminal, you open up terminal, type in sudo, press delete just to make sure there's no spaces. Press enter. Oopsies, that won't work. So yeah, so you can't put in capital. That's my bad. So I meant to type these in by hand. So sudo apt-get install 1 2 3 4, and now see sudo apt, and then grade. Yep. And now that's done. So I type in sudo, and now we type in apt install, then docker.io, press Y, enter. It does its thing. So now we go clear. Now we do docker space dash dash BERSION. There you go. 20.10.12 is another version. So after that, we type in sudo systemctl is systemctl space status docker, and it's activated. So now you press Q. So you can just if that shows up like that, you actually can skip the sudo enable and then press Q. So So now you press clear. And now you do sudo docker oopsies. And that's what happened if you messed up. So I accidentally, hands are cold. Sudo docker run hello dash world. So if you didn't put the sudo on there, it would basically not run. So press this, unable to find hello world, and if you get this message saying installation support you're working correctly. Okay, after that, you actually are done with that. So after that, what I would do is run this command right here. All right, you can run this command next. Just press paste. Just press sudo. I'm gonna get rid of this part right here, so it runs comment that out, enter. Oh, my bad. I think I messed up. So my bad. I think I messed up. So let me fix this real quick. But basically, I gotta fix this issue. Okay, so the issue was basically the way I copied it. So basically, because of so what happened was, um, it should be written. So it should be written Australia. So should be written like that, so there shouldn't be any spaces between those, but there were spaces. So I'm just gonna copy this so I can save it for you guys, and put on there. So I'm just editing this as I go. So I'm just gonna paste this right here. So basically, so as you can see, it was installed, but that was because I accidentally made a mistake when actually writing it down. So sudo. So that's just like that. That was my fault for copying it down wrong. Not I wasn't trying to copy it down wrong. It's just that I wrote it down just so I could have it for issue. So now go back here. So now after that, that fiasco, it downloaded. So now you just type. Now you go back to Firefox, and then you go to local host, and you type in 8080, which is this one. You get dashy, which is the dashboard. So I'm going to show how to edit this, just so you can change your configuration. So you can change from colorful. You have all these ones right here, and since there's that, I on my personal one, you can even use a favorite wave if you want to, but on my one I use the material dark, which is nice for me honestly. So because it has the best looking icons honestly. So now you go to edit, and so when you go to edit, it shows everything. Like so, you go to edit page info. You can change the name Dashy to whatever you want. So I'm just gonna change it to show. You can change it to whatever you want. You can change it to whatever you want too. So I'm gonna say welcome to the dashboard, and then you can change these. I actually changed this to a blog page of mine, and also the URL to the blog page. And here I should put it on to a YouTube banner, just so I usually visit those a lot occasionally. And you can actually put that to your. You actually can put that as your main. You actually can um point to just about anything to like there. So press save. So as you can see, it says show welcome to dashboard. But if I don't press a save to disk, it won't save. So now if I refresh this, it's there still. And so now go here, and now you can go to you can add more pages. That's if you want to mess around with that, or you can edit app config. I wouldn't bother with this one. Um, unless you really want to. If you're just looking for a dashboard, then there's that. And this is how you add stuff too. So you go here, you basically press the pencil, and now you can basically click here to add a new section. 1 second, screen is too small. So here you can edit this one to like change stuff on here, or you can just make those tutorial, or you can basically click here and basically remove it or expand and collapse it. Um, you can search here with DuckDuckGo because it searches DuckDuckGo there. You can change the layout. Um, this one you edit the actual file itself, and you can change stuff. So cancel edit. So that's set up. And so now if you restart, so if you go to restart, and just to make sure it works, okay, there we go. So qbittorrent's back up and running. And so now, if you can go to localhost or you can try another computer. So you basically type in uh 192.168.1.166, which is that one. So colon 8080, which should bring up dashy. There you go. So as you see, show. And now if we type in the same exact thing, the same IP address, but 4444, it brings up that one. And you can type in W 123456, and it logs in. So there's that. So the next one is this one is kind of this one is the next one. So this one is uptime-kuma. So basically you take this, or you can just type it in. Want their repository. So press copy, or you can type it in. Now you go back to here, go back to terminal. Now you paste this, or you can just, but if you're just doing all of this at once, then you don't have to basically keep typing in the sudo password. So this one, so just make sure one. So press enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it does the same because of the other one messed up because of there were spaces in there. So if it would have worked, it would have basically did that. So now you can go to localhost. So LOKAL localhost, and then 3001. You can change this if you want to something else. So 3001 uptime-kuma, and there you go. Password, I'm just gonna go username, show, password 1234. So oopsies, misspelled 124, and the password's too weak. 5, oopsies, 5 6, 5 6. Is that still too short? Yeah. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Still short. Okay, let's see. Okay, so there you go. So there you go. So the password has to be secure, but this is what uptime-kuma looks like. And so So this is what it's supposed to look like. So you can add your actual your site. So for example, friendly name, say youtube.com for example. And so you can set up notifications here. So youtube.com, just basically you can give it a friendly name just like YouTube. Just did youtube.com. So here you can have it update every 30 intervals, which is what I do. 30 intervals. And then you can mess with all the stuff you want. And if it's down, you should if you get anything other than 200, something's wrong with actual the with the computer. But if you get 500, there's something wrong with the website. I mean the site itself. And so you can press set up notifications like Telegram, web, email, smart SMS manager, pretty much pushy, pushover, push deer, and then you can also use Discord for one, a free mobile home assistant. I recommend home assistant, which would actually work the best because I already have an app. So there's that. You want to make sure it's HTTPS. Then after that, you press save. And so when you do this, it shows you the uptime of the website. And so you actually kind of keep track of your personal websites with this or other websites like youtube.com or your server to see how or like the Plex server to see how long it's up for your Jellyfin server, and it'll tell you if it's online or not. And this graph would eventually upgrade after some actual time. So just like that, and it basically tell tells you how long it's been up and how much uptime it has. So it tells you 100%, 514 milliseconds average response, and 444 for current response. And you can do this for every website you actually want, or you can basically do it for your personal website. So it's just for tracking stats. And then if you go to status page, you can create new status page, and then you can, for example, type, um, for example, show phone. I'm gonna put an underscore in there. So, for example, like that, and then you press copy, or you just can paste it there. You can just type it there. Press next. So invalid slug. So it's you can just type a show then, I guess. So can't have underscores in there. And so this is how it is. And so you can bookmark this page under what's that? Under um dashy, and then when you add an because it would be status / status show (edit), and then every time you click on that link, it'll bring you to the edit page, and you can just add more. And so when you click on add group, you can basically add a monitor, for example, YouTube, and it basically will show everything YouTube. You press save, and it'll show up all systems are operational right here. You can look at this on your phone or any other web browser, or you can just go to dashboard, and it's right here. Um, Go to settings. You can change, make your appearance in dark mode, just to make it nicer. And then going back to here, settings, You can have pop proxies, backup. You can have two actually factor, um, Docker host. You can set up a Docker host. Um, Monitor. You can shrink data set. There's reverse proxy and your notifications. And you can put Cloudflare on there if you want. Um, then there's the notifications, like what is showing. What the notifications when one of these sites goes down? If you're using it for like your personal Plex server and you're not home, you will get a message on Discord or however you have it set up with Slack or whatever, and it'll send you a message, and then you can basically either restart your internet from afar, or basically have someone else restart it if basically the generator or UPS went off and you have power again. And then you can just remotely fix it after that. So that's uptime-kuma. So now after that, um, you basically go to your website. You go to another browser, make sure working there and not just localhost 192.168.1.166 colon 301. 3001. That's my bad. Enter, and then you just log in with your password, which in this case, because this is not saying, it is show, and then password, which is PASSW0RD, and then you're back up here on a different computer, and it shows up and down and how many you're in use. So after that, you actually test that. Let's see. Let's see. So now, this is the next one. So you type in sudo apt install Apache 2. Just press enter. Press Y. And now you basically just type in this, just make sure. Oh, but you'll check it out way too, so. And I can't remember how to spell that. Let's see. Can't remember. So this. Let's see. I think I misspelled it. Yeah, I actually misspelled it, but no. But basically, that I mistyped in the command. But basically, now you just go to localhost again. So LOCAL localhost, and so if you do localhost, because if you do set this up for actually testing, you would want a you would want something like a stream deck, so you can just press the IP address of the machine, and then you want to type in have it be colon 8080, so you can basically just get to your dashy dashboard, and you can just click on all of the services after that from actually there instead of remembering IP addresses. So there's the logo. So as you can see, it's running. So now um since that's running on there, you just go to here, which is 192.168.1.166, and then it should bring it up too, like it did. So now you basically just go here just after making sure it works. Now you just first you go to here, files, then you go to location, computer, and then you go to var, and then you go to www, HTML, and as you see, you can't you actually can't edit it, but you can copy it. So close that for now. So pre-say warning: don't put this part on the internet because of you were basically giving full access to actually this part. So this is only for testing purposes. So I just use mine like this just for actually testing and figuring out quirks, and then I just put my main site on my main hosting website. I don't host from actually home. So basically make sure there, and then we just make sure there's no spaces. So sudo chmod -r777, which is a recursive full access for like folders and subfolders. So press enter, done. So now if we go back to file and we go back to, and just for saying this is for testing purposes, and you basically shouldn't basically put this on the web. So go to var. It's just for testing your website before you host it somewhere else. Website www HTML. And now if I click here, you can go to copy. I mean, you actually can open. I'm just gonna go to text editor, just change this real quick. So all this was the main body of the website. So if we delete this, because if you remember, so if we go here, local host, and you see this right here. So it's right there. So if we just select all, delete, and then insert emoji. So for example, heart one, doesn't really matter what we put there, but now once we so we'll say heart hello world. You wouldn't obviously do this for a website, but you can save it. I'll go here. If you refresh, hello world, that's the emoji, but hello world. And so if we actually just um go back to here, you go open, you text editor, So get rid of, we'll type in yellow. It's hello world. And now I should say hello yellow. It's hello yellow. It's hello world. So see, local host yellow is hello world. There you go. A website has been made. So you're pretty much done with that. And chmod 777 allows you full access to here. So now, if you want to, you can remove it, undo, put it back in there. So it's changeable. And so now, if we go to file power off, and then we power off the virtual machine, and now we open up the web browser, it shouldn't work. So let's see, 192.168.1.166, and now go to colon 8080, which should bring up, it would bring up dashy if it was still on. So if we click it, nothing. It says waiting for assets. Not gonna work because it's off. So now, what I do after that is, after I finish all of that, you go to VM settings, then go to here, and then go set this here. Press OK before we do something else. Just make sure it doesn't load again. Setting. Go to here, which is 4096 is 1024 times 4, which is 1 gigabyte. Before, oopsies, I actually gave that like 10 gigs of RAM. 1024. And so press OK. And then change this from 2 cores to 1 core, because this is all it needs for the virtual machine part. So whatever you put in as like a as bare metal, then you would basically use that. So reason says printer because I have a printer, so you don't have to worry about that one, because this host is running a print server. This is gonna take a little bit of time because it's only 1 core, 1 gig of RAM. So, but it does load, but it will load faster if I didn't have the GUI, which basically takes up a lot of the speed. So this loads, that close, then you close it, or you can just leave it running if you have it open. So now, since you see that's open, we press refresh. We don't have to press refresh; it loads automatically. So there is that. I forgot to edit it. So go here, and now you basically press here. You can type in section name. So say websites. See section icon, don't have one. You can sort by name or most used, last used in alphabetical order. Press you can hide for freshly guessed. So there's that. Go to here. Go to edit info page, and we're gonna name this. Let's see. YouTube, and let's see. YouTube.com. Say YouTube 2. There's no YouTube 2, by the way. It's just another YouTube.com. YouTube.com. So, and also, if you don't put in https:// it won't load. And you might want to put in www dot in there also, just to make sure it loads. www dot. And so opening method, you can select new hashy tab, add footing, a logo, press save. So as you can see, it says YouTube and YouTube 2. And if we click on YouTube 2, it brings up YouTube 2. It brings up YouTube. And then if we click here, we go here, you type in item text box. So, for example, I'm just doing YouTube because I really don't have any other websites to put in here at the moment, just to show you. And description. See, spy bot, for example. That's something we could use. So it says http :// www.youtube.com. And so then we go opening method, new tab. You can add in these fields like check URL, check accepted HTML codes, sub items if you want. Press save. And now after that, you say write to disk. So now you can see it says YouTube Spybot, for example. And when you click it, it loads YouTube. And same with these ones, YouTube and YouTube. And so now if we type in 30,001, we get uptime-kuma. And if we type in 4444, and these can be any ports you actually want as long as you can actually remember them. I recommend turning the dashy one into something else if you're already using port 8080 and port 80 somewhere else. So there's that. And then we log in. Show, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we go to here, just showing as an example. Now there's yellow, it's hello world. Or you can basically make your own website just for testing that you're gonna post to like your own host server, just so you're not hosting it at home. And this can be, all this stuff can be ran in the cloud. And then you have that. So also, if you don't get rid of this page, you literally can click on GitHub and it has a source here. If you don't want to run it as the, if you want to run it bare metal and not as a as like Docker, or you can yes, you can run it as Docker run 8080, or you can run it like this. Um, you don't even need most of the stuff. Basically, this basically does make a new dashboard, and this does a restart always after it restarts, but this one doesn't restart afterwards. And then this is just to get the latest version, and so you can run it in cloud. Also, Heimdall is technically a little bit better, but I like this design. It's more cleaner than Heimdall. Heimdall is actually the best one, honestly, but this one looks cleaner. And so, and as you can see, it's like that. And so, if you click on Dashy Live, it shows live stuff, and it shows everything that you can do. For example, social start. It does VS Code stuff, and there's deployment stuff. You have internet tools. You have one-click cloud deploy, main language switching. You can back up, reset, naming, um, Star Trek, uh, visual source, replay analyst. Yes, all this is basically that. This is Dash Docs, but this is the one that's hosted on here. You can press configure guide if you want. If you want to know how to configure it differently than just base, but all I needed was like a dashboard, so I just made a dashboard that doesn't have to be fancy, but it does what I needed to do, which is hold my website. I mean, hold my information for, so I don't have to. I can just use a Stream Deck to click one key and it loads. So right now on the Stream Deck, I have around 3 different keys that does two keys, two actually keys, well, 3 keys. One key that literally does one button on my server. On my dashboard, and the other thing that does one on my dashboard, and then the other thing that's going to do something on my dashboard. So I'll call a couple things. And so that will free up 3 Stream Deck buttons on my Stream Deck, which gives me three more extra features I want. So hope that really helped you guys. And so, and since you can see it's running on 1 gig memory, there is literally no slow actually downs. It loads pretty fast, and so you literally would do actually this. For example, I'll show you. So websites, go here to here. So if we go here, now we type in qbittorrent. So that would be one. That would be http :// 192.168.1.166 :4444. And oops, wrong spot. I that was my bad. But put this right here, and now put here is torrents method, new tab, And now go save. Go here. Let's see. Oh, and if you have Plex, you just basically type in your Plex IP address right here with the https:// the IP address, and then you type in colon the open port you have for it. And so we're just gonna paste this, which it's for it is for um 301 3000 and 1, and then we'll call it um uptime uptime kuma uptime-kuma main. Oops, it's wrong one. So now we type uptime kuma dash BOARD uptime-kuma dashboard as an open method, and then save. Let's see. 192.168.1.1 3001. And now we go to status page. Go to here. Go to edit. And I'll colon edit. So if this is what I think it does, so now we take this and it should bring you to the edit page. Yeah, so now after that, you go to here. You go put this right here. HTTP. Now we go to it's called, oopsies, I almost did something. So oopsies, I messed up. So we're gonna call this uptime-kuma status. So yeah, so uptime-kuma dashboard, new tab. So after that, it's like this, status/dashboard. Okay. So now you press save to local disk. I mean, save the disk. You don't want to save locally because it'll save to the computer locally. Now you press refresh, and then it should stick. So now, oh yeah, one more I forgot. So let's see, new. We type in this one. We type in the URL. As we type in HTTP. This is just for what I would do if I was using it. Using this one. HTTP 192.168.1.166. And then opening method would be new tab, and then this would be web page. And then I say testing. Web page for testing. And now we go down to here, press save. And now we go to save disk. You want to do actually that before you actually that. So after that, when we click on web page for testing, takes us to YOLO if it's hello. YOLO it's hello world. So can't speak. So and it opens in a new Edge tab. And now, if we click on uptime-kuma dashboard, it basically brings you to the dashboard. And this is so you can add as many of these as you want, and if you have like tons of services on the server, you can add all those there and show the uptime here. And then you can add the group right here. It says add group, and you actually can add group, and then you can add create incident, and then you can post it, and it shows up here. And so you can say, for example, testing show. This is for video. Post. And so now if we press save, show testing, this is for video, go to dashboard. It just shows the status of YouTube and how if there's been any downs. And so if we go back, we actually can go to edit, and then we can unpin, and we can press save, and it's all gone. So you can just use this as like an updated message board for the people who have access. So because you can forward port 3001 or whatever port you use, and then you can send that with like a DNS name, and then send it to the people who have access to your Plex server / other websites that like you have hosted for your family. If you have a website hosted for family using a VPN or something, then that's when uptime-kuma will be really good. Or you can host your website locally as long as you don't give it 777 support. So I mean 777 access. That's only for actually testing. So and pretty much that's what dashy set up. And if I were to actually use this one, I have another one set up, but that's the one set up to my liking. I don't have everything I want on my dashboard yet because I actually had to fix some issues I had. So now you want to go to edit. So you want to go to here, and you want to go to here first, and then you want to go to here, then you want to go to remove. Press OK, and now press save locally to save the disk, which is being saved to the container. And so these containers can survive a restart. So can the website, because I can show you that. So if we go back to here, go to power restart, it will show that this is offline eventually. And as you can see, this is booting because of no, I'm not that dashy won't, but uptime-kuma will say it is offline because of, if we go to there, as you see, it won't relaunch. I mean, it's not relaunched, but if there you go, it launches back up once the host restarts. And with my specific host, I have a hard drive connected to actually there just for the occasional file I need. And so instead of me running qbittorrent on my other computers, I can just add the torrent file to my to the web server. It downloads to the hard drive that's running on here, and once it runs on there, once it finishes downloading, or I download a whole bunch of them, I can literally then shut down the machine using a press of the button on the stream deck, or just shut it down there, and then it will get re-added to the shared to a shared drive that gets automatically shared, and then I can access it from my Mac and then transfer it to another hard drive for actually sorting. So yeah, um, and as you can see, uptime-kuma is back up and running, and it basically keeps how long this is up. So if it's down for any amount of time, this will go actually red. And on my personal uptime-kuma, it ends up basically getting sent to a personal page of mine. So thanks for watching. I hope this actually helped. And yeah, I hope this helped you. Um, hope this helped with issues you've had, and issues that can possibly um using Docker can fix. So with like other Docker containers, most of them, they actually need a place to like be actually stored. So for example, if you are reusing um if like you save Docker into if you save Docker into the root folder, you literally could just put the config file, for example, in downloads. You just cd and then save it there, or I would just save it into the Docker folder itself, which would be easier. But you can ccd into the download folder and then save it there, and then just point that in like the -v file on Docker. I would just save it in the Docker folder itself. So and when you download Docker and install it, it you can tell it where to install, so you can actually install it. You can make a directory specifically for it, or you can literally just put it in default, which is in the user folder. So it's in a root full folder in computer if you're running Ubuntu. So I hope that helped. Thank you.